Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're having a great time everyone. Today there's a lot of news I want to cover, so let's just get right into it. There's a lot on regulations related news. Let's just start with the most significant one being social media platform Kik promises to challenge proposed SEC enforcement against its ICO. So Canada-based messaging app company Kik is planning to fight a likely US Securities and Exchange Commission enforcement action over its 2017 ICO. Their founder, Kik founder and CEO Ted Livingston, said the firm's token Kin works like a currency and is not an unregistered security as believed by the SEC. They raised almost $100 million via a sale of the token last September. SEC got in touch with Kik after the launch of the ICO and most recently sent a Wells notice stating that Kik has violated securities law. Kik responded to the notice last month saying that its ICO involves no fraud and the claims unjustifiably target a company that makes substantial efforts in good faith to comply with all existing laws and regulations when selling Kin in September 2017. Now, if enforcement action is taken up, Kik and the Kin Foundation are prepared to litigate and are confident they will prevail in court. The next step, according to Livingston's post, is for the SEC staff to decide if they will make a recommendation to the SEC commissioners to authorize a case against us. Okay, so first, what is Kik? And let me just quickly give you a backdrop first of what is Kik, right? And how well funded and how well connected this company is. So Kik is a Canada-based messaging app company. They are best known for their privacy feature. Basically, you can use this app without disclosing your mobile number, yeah? And all the information will be erased after you have left the platform. And that's why it is, very popular, and they have been this app have been downloaded by hundreds of millions of people. Yeah, and now the latest news is that by the way, who are the investors behind them? It included a lot of venture capital funds, including Union Square Ventures, New York based, and the Tencent, which is mega big firm technology gaming firm in China. So very well funded, very well connected firm. And now that they have been, basically they got a notice from SEC saying that, because they have done an ICO, they are considered as in securities. And that means they haven't got the approval from the securities. So hence they cannot continue to operate. Now, the thing is, the SEC still haven't officially give them a case, that means haven't officially asked them to stop operating because they still need a vote from the SEC commissioner, yeah. But once they serve that notice, that means if the commissioner said yes to go ahead to file a notice against Kik, then Kik basically said already that they will promise that they will, see the SEC in court. That means they will not relent, right? They will not back down. Instead, they will promise to fight, and they want a judge to basically prevail over the case, right? That means they want everything to be very transparent. They want to make their case. They want it to be a fair trial, a fair hearing, right? To see a fair judgment, to see what was wrong or what did Kik do wrong to classify them as a security and hence cannot operate, right? So this is significant because this is the first time, right? Because last year, 2018 was a big year. And a lot of partly the bear market was brought on by the regulators clamping down on a lot of the ICO. So there were a lot of regulatory uncertainty, right? That basically make it very hard for the industry to raise funds by any more ICOs, and the investors are also afraid that government may come in and just ban any cryptocurrency and result in the death of cryptocurrency. Though they have of course announced Bitcoin and Ethereum as not securities but commodities, so they are fine, right? Now, but for the others, what happened, right? To this day, Ripple is also in the category of unclear. Now, Kik is the first company, right? First that, setting a precedent that basically they are willing to stand up against SEC. Is almost like a David versus Goliath kind of example where, David is Kik, definitely, and SEC is the Goliath. So definitely, a lot of people they don't dare to stand up against the SEC, right? But Kik, being well-funded, well-connected, they are now setting a precedent to say that see SEC in court. It'll be very, very interesting to watch what happens next, yeah? Next, Italian court orders BitGrail founder to refund $170 million of missing cryptocurrency. Now, while SEC in US, right, is very relatively crypto not friendly, in Italy, the court is basically very pro crypto, and they really want to protect the investors, and they have actually asked a BitGrail, which is a crypto exchange, their founder, that have that they consider them guilty for losing $170 million of nano cryptocurrency. And they even go to the extent to declare the founder bankrupt, to seize his personal assets to repay the investors. Now, that is really, very different, right? Next, we have troubled crypto exchange Quadriga CX goes offline for maintenance. This exchange is based in Canada, right? They already had a saga, right, starting Q4 of last year, where they had a dispute with the Canada Imperial Bank of Canada, Commercial Imperial Bank of Canada, where the bank sued the exchange for about $20 million, and they're basically disputing that sum, yeah? And then following that, the exchange Quadriga CX had problem accessing their own funds, and then not long after that, a lot of the people trying to withdraw their funds from this exchange, and they can't do so. And then not long after that, also they came out with the news that the founder is dead. Hence, all withdrawal requests is being suspended, and now the exchange said they're going offline for maintenance. Now, again, this is kind of a case where, either it is really true, right? But still they have no proof of the death of the founder. I see this personally as those classical case of, it's just a fraud really, right? And that's why we need regulations to come in and, reasonable regulation to protect the investors, but yet let the industry, let the innovation prosper, right? So this one, I really think that people really have to be careful of which exchange they use to put their funds, to buy their cryptocurrency, because really, only go with those reputable exchange, because they are firms that publish, ranking of crypto exchanges. Really go with the major and reputable ones, right? To prevent cases like this from happening, because now regulations is still being set up, so you have cases like this, but next few years I foresee that cases like this will be very, very rare. Next, CoinCheck owner Monex warns of scammers impersonating its businesses. So CoinCheck is based in Japan, and Japanese online broker Monex Group, owner of hacked cryptocurrency exchange CoinCheck, which recently just allowed to reopen, by the Japanese regulator, and they are now experiencing some scams as well. That the scam, which so far not a lot of details are being released, but they're basically saying that they fraudulent parties have been pretending to be Monex coin management and calling the victims and basically ask them to call back to an automated trading system, right? But basically they are saying no, there's no such thing, and ask people to not fall into such traps. So again, we are in a world where it is very, very early days, kind of like the Wild West days still for crypto. And that's why you have a lot of scams like this to take place. So really, really be careful, right? Normally, big companies like this will not call each individual investors to ask them to do things, because because big firms like this, they don't call individual customers. They will send email, they will maybe have a blog post, or they will have a Twitter, or they will have in their official release in their websites, but they will not call each individual to ask you to do some actions. It's just when something seems fishy, it is fishy. Yeah. Next, Dash community troubles. People accuse project's merchant team in Venezuela of embezzlement. Dash community is basically very, very popular in Venezuela because, as we all know, Venezuela has experienced hyperinflation to the tune of 1 million inflation percent, right? And in addition to Bitcoin, Dash is very, very popular there in terms of merchant acceptance. And among other things, right, Dash is very innovative because they have partnered with a mobile firm, telco firm, to actually have a very cheap version of mobile phone preloaded with Dash cryptocurrency for the people to spend. So definitely that helps a lot of their adoption. But now there are reports saying basically there's a local team of merchants that in Venezuela that is supplying fake information to the central team in Dash. And basically, when questioned, they said that, right, the fake data is sent because they need to protect themselves against the governments or the political parties there to protect themselves. Now, if that is true, that is fine. But the thing is, if it's not true, right, then I think that basically it is very hard to continue this kind of partnership with merchants in Venezuela. And I think then, it will be probably only that Bitcoin will prevail there, right? Regardless, I think, I hope this is as what the merchants said it is, right? And I hope they don't try to use this opportunity to really, cheat the central team Dash, because then they will lose credibility, and then the people in Venezuela are the one who suffer, because then they will have less options, right? But I hope that Bitcoin are still widespread enough to be accepted by merchants that, it should be fine. I hope, yeah. Next, state-backed digital currency. Now, I think it was 1 month ago that basically there was a report saying that, a lot of central banks are considering to make their own central bank-backed digital currency, but they're not likely, like over 70% of them are not likely to really do so in the next 3 to 6 years. But now we have news that Tangum, which is the smart card maker which can store your cryptocurrency, Switzerland-based, they are going to make the world's first blockchain sovereign currency banknotes for Marshall Islands. What it is basically Marshall Islands is going to issue their own bank-backed currency, but this is very interesting. It's in the form of a physical note, but is backed by blockchain technology. So each note will have a microchip in there, so it will track the flow of the currency. But it is unclear to me, right, when I read the news that it's not a lot of details, right? Because I'm still not clear whether does that mean that Marshall Island can, just issue any amount of currency as they please, because if it is then there's no difference with the fiat money, except it just has a chip to track to better track the flow of their currency, right? So this is very weird, because the issue that Bitcoin came about is because of the rapid supply of fiat money today that cause inflation, that cause people to have no trust, right, or very little trust in the fiat money. Hence, Bitcoin is born and Bitcoin is then adopted, right? But now you have this government coming out with their own sovereign currency backed by blockchain, but it is unclear whether they will, just issue as many as they please, yeah? Iran is also, they said they may unveil state-backed cryptocurrency this week. So Iran's case is a bit different from Marshall Islands. Marshall Islands, they don't have Marshall Islands' case is that they will have the state-backed cryptocurrency alongside USD, which is currently the fiat money that's being used in Marshall Islands. But Iran is a bit different because that Iran, they have been sanctioned by the US and they've been kicked out from the SWIFT system. SWIFT system is basically a global system, interbank system for transfer of funds. And now, so then they are forced, right, in a way forced, to actually come up with another alternative, and then they want to review their own state-backed cryptocurrency, but they're not, interesting that they're not using Bitcoin, right? Which is, so the fact that they are using their own state-backed cryptocurrency, most likely, and already US is going to say that they are going to sanction this currency as well. So that means the most they can do is maybe they trade with partners who will accept their currency, and maybe it's just Russia, right? Or maybe not. So in the end, I think the adoption of state-backed cryptocurrency is going to be very low. Also look at Venezuela, where the state-backed cryptocurrency is Petro. Adoption is very low. People really like the decentralized ones still. And I think Iran will see the same thing. Yeah. Next, VanEck associate CEO said that Bitcoin investors will add gold this year. So this is just interesting. It's just I thought just an interesting article just to throw in. They have done survey among 4,000 Bitcoin investors, and it is interesting that the number one investment for 2019 is actually gold. So gold lost to Bitcoin, and now is going to be the other way. So they say in 2017, a lot of the gold investors actually buy Bitcoin, and now that it seems that 2019 is turning around to buy gold. Though they didn't ask them specifically, which one do you prefer? Do you prefer gold or do you prefer Bitcoin? Although my sense is that people who have gold will also have Bitcoin because they recognize that, right? The importance of both, right? Though they serve a bit of different purpose, but it is important to have both. That's my personal opinion. But yeah, they didn't ask that, so we still don't know whether which one they prefer, and in terms of percentage, what's that holdings like, right? Though having all this news, right, the industry continue to build, and that is really, really good for the continue thriving or continued success of the industry. So NYSE operator partners with Blockstream to launch crypto tracking tool for investors. And Intercontinental Exchange, who is the owner of multiple global exchanges, including the largest New York Stock Exchange, they are now partnering with major global blockchain firm called Blockstream to have their own cryptocurrency data feed product. Yeah, and what they plan to do is that they want to provide real-time and historical data for more than 60 cryptocurrencies from major trading markets and exchanges worldwide. Yeah, and this will provide investors with a comprehensive tool to monitor data for the most actively and widely traded cryptocurrencies. The thing is this, actually this is really, really good development because you really need good data to make trading very transparent, very little arbitrage between exchanges, and information is very transparent and quick, so that a lot of liquidity can come into this space, so more credible. Because now, right, if you look at CoinMarketCap or you look at Live CoinWatch, the prices are very different, and you just like wonder why, right? Which one is more correct? And their methodology is also not super transparent. So it's definitely very good, like a professional firm that has so much experience with the traditional exchanges, now that they're coming in to provide this data feed product. Yeah, I think it's super good. Next, Lightning Network continue making progress, and this is basically just adoption continue to increase on Lightning Network. Lightning Network, just to recall, is basically just to recap for people who are new, is that they basically a second layer on top of the Bitcoin to scale up the transactions of Bitcoin to be much faster. If in the future, when Lightning Network is fully launched, it can process hundreds of thousands transactions per second versus just 7 transactions per second now. Yeah, and Satoshi Labs is the first Lightning Network node in history that processed 100 million Satoshis in Lightning transactions in one single day. So the first time this happened, that they are able to process just 1 BTC of transactions in one single day, that's why it's huge. Yeah, and this continues to be really good for Bitcoin. Yeah. Next, we have Ripple CEO announces games to be built on XRP Ledger while at Davos conference. This is very interesting because at Davos conference, it was a casual Q&A, but the CEO of Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse, he's basically saying, right, that they are already planning, that they already have to incorporate games onto their platform. Don't forget, Ripple has always known to be, the payment network. That means their partners are all banks to facilitate institutions to transfer funds globally at instantaneously and at super low fee, right? They want to basically replace the SWIFT system in the traditional world today. But now it seems like they are also diversifying to include gaming, which is a really huge applications, right, in this space, and of course huge industries. Yeah, and though a lot of people think it's a surprise, though they already have previously partnerships with companies like GSR, which what they do is they allow electronic trading of digital assets. And in gaming world, in online gaming world, the trade of digital assets is really, really key, because basically it allows people to, let's say if they use a sword in one game, they can just take that sword over to another game to use. Yeah, basically their credit can be just port over very easily to different games, and that is, very, I guess it's very easy for the gamers. Yeah, and I think this. So of course we don't know yet, right? What kind of games are they going to launch? Though Ripple has always been a very good track record of execution, so it'd be interesting to see. But it also means that they are going to compete against other platforms like Tron, like EOS, right? Who is already attracted a lot of gaming and gambling applications. Yeah, it'd be interesting to watch how it plays out. Um, Next, Charlie Lee is working to add confidential transactions to Litecoin. So as we know, Litecoin is a fork of Bitcoin, right? And Litecoins have always known as the digital silver versus Bitcoin digital gold, right? So it's a complementary asset. Now, though, Charlie Lee is focusing on building confidential transactions into Litecoin, which is very interesting, though we already have very relatively successful privacy coins, right? Like Monero, Zcash, right? And Green and Beam, right, are the new ones coming up as well. So very interesting to watch. Next one is again very interesting for the industry. There is a new app now, allow very quick and easy direct fiat altcoin purchase. So what it is actually a company called Netcoins. They are a Canadian company. They basically, what is differentiating about them is that they make it very easy for people who want to buy alternative coins, those very small coins, right? It's more of like it's a bit like penny stocks, yeah, that you can very quick avenue for you to exchange just fiat into the altcoin directly without going through Bitcoin or Ethereum first, right? Which is like most exchanges, you have to go through fiat Bitcoin or fiat Ethereum first before you can buy altcoin. So this is definitely a much faster process. And also they also accept USD, they accept Euro, and they accept Canadian dollars. Yeah. And the other thing is they already have partnered with a huge network, 170,000 agents in 53 countries, where they basically, so theirs is not an ATM, theirs is a virtual ATM that can be incorporated, is a web-based, right? So it can be incorporated in any computer or iPad. And so people who want to buy can just either go into the store and buy, or they can buy online via the app. Yeah, so very, very convenient, I see. And in terms of the cryptocurrencies available that they're able to purchase, you can see it's really some very obscure coins like Pareto, Queens, Antonio, Myriad, right? PeerPlace, Cloak, Steam, Komodo, yeah, Denta coin, Wager. So all these are not the common coin that you can find on many exchanges. So this is quite interesting, I would say, is definitely catering to a niche market, but yeah, something differentiating for sure. Because like the latest Binance Jersey exchange, right? They only accept, for now at least, they only accept euro and pounds, but they do, and then they only sell Bitcoin and Ethereum. At least for now, they might expand to other coins in the future, because like their crypto to crypto exchange is very, they have a wide range of coins, right? But Netcoins is special because they allow the fiat to buy a lot of a lot more alternative coins. So very interesting. Is we have Belarus' largest bank considers setting up crypto exchange. Now, again, you have a country which is, again, the bank is very interesting. Now we see a lot of banks integrating with cryptocurrency, right? And I think it just was a few days ago, we have Bitstamp partnering with Dukas Copy Bank through this Switzerland base to basically allow very easy fiat to crypto purchases. And another one, Belarus' largest bank, is now considering setting up a crypto exchange as well. So very interesting. So you do see, and all this development just tell you, right, that crypto day by day is gaining mainstream, is going into mainstream. And like, for example, the ICE, right? ICE partnering Blockstream to launch their crypto tracking tool, right? Very good price discovery for the investors is all this is basically to facilitate institutional investors to come into this space, right? Because they will have all the infrastructure needed, they will have a lot of confidence, right? A lot of transparencies on the price that they are looking at. Yeah. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and hope you're having a great day. For the new subscribers, welcome, and I thank you so much for your support. And I hope you like this episode. Please subscribe, and please share this around. Hope you're having a great day wherever you are. God bless. Thank you.